5 months ago, we were actually working on our battery bank. Alyssa's parents were in town, and her dad loves low voltage. I'd been kind of saving this battery project so we could work on it together. It was hard because, as you'll see in the video, there was some stuff going on that I wasn't super excited about. The reason I'm talking to you now and not just rolling the footage is sometimes videos don't exactly work out the way you think they're going to.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna jump in periodically and narrate just a little bit. Okay, enough talk, let's get to it. 5 months ago, we picked up this used battery bank off of Craigslist. We knew in anticipation of moving towards solar that we wanted to have a good place to store as much of that power as possible. We don't have the $3,500 to $4,000 to purchase a brand new battery bank. So we went ahead and shopped and actually happened upon a used battery bank. And we're to the point where we want to bring this battery bank up to its best potential. We do want to communicate that buying a used battery bank may not be the best idea. For us, it was worth the risk. We're hoping to get maybe about 2 years out of it. We're not even expecting all of these batteries to be satisfactory. We may even have to sacrifice a few of them. Part of the reason that buying used batteries is risky is because lead batteries are prone to sulfation, and a properly maintained battery will last about 10 years. You don't know the history on the battery, and no matter what the owner says, it probably wasn't taken care of as good as it could have been. In our case, the seller did disclose that some of these batteries weren't in tippy-top shape. For example, this battery that I'm watering right now is pretty thirsty, and it seems to consume quite a bit of water. It's possible this battery may not be good enough to use in our battery bank. But even if it's no good and we have to let this battery go, we still got a really good deal. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that'll kind of walk you through the battery restoration process, so this video is not meant to be a tutorial. One of the ways that we limited the risk for ourselves was, instead of running out and buying a bunch of expensive and awesome cables to set the battery bank up, we just kind of went through our boxes and found what we had. And it's not sexy, but it allowed us to at least get the battery bank in use and take it for a test drive. You know, it would have been really bad to go out and spend maybe $150 or $200 on some really high quality cables only to find out that the batteries are no good. Well, this has got us by so far. We've been able to cycle the battery just a few times. Now I think I feel comfortable going ahead and upgrading cables, so we're gonna do that today. Before we go crazy getting these batteries in the best condition possible, we needed to have the ability to charge them and kind of cycle them a little bit. And then we also needed a proper tool to equalize them. Kind of a stroke of luck and a little bit of opportunity came our way, and GoPower offered to let us test drive their Solar Extreme kit, which is an RV kit. It's 480 watts of solar. Included in GoPower's Solar Extreme kit is this brand new product for them, which is an inverter charger. You'll have to do a little research because it's a brand new product for them, so you might not see it bundled in some of their kits. But they included this because it allows us to actually charge the battery bank directly from our generator. And it's actually a 4-stage charger, which prior to having this, we really didn't have any way to top off this battery bank. We had our small portable panel, but it wasn't enough to equalize this battery bank. But thankfully this has a 100 amp charger built into it. You need this in remote control that's not included with this. You have to buy it separately. We can actually set this to equalize, run our generator, and it'll bring those batteries up to an equalization voltage. There's just one small snagglepuss. Our generator's gone. We had to take it in for service. Our Honda generator is having problems, but the good news is it's getting fixed right now. So in preparation for running the first equalization cycle on our battery bank, we're gonna give the cabling system an upgrade. As we upgrade the cables, we're also going to be doing a nice hardware upgrade to stainless steel hardware. All right, got all the old clunky kind of mismatched cabling all taken care of. And also took the old grandpa hardware off there. I do want to thank my grandpa for all these bolts. I never thought I'd find a use for them, but they were pretty doggone useful until now. So we did a little bit of math and got a baseline. We took a voltage from each battery initially with a open circuit, and then we also put a load on there, an itty bitty little light bulb for 60 seconds, and then took another voltage reading. That helped us to kind of get an idea about what each battery is like and how to pair them up. Once we get them all paired up, they'll be really close to each other when they're wired in series to make 12-volt batteries. So all of this will help us to understand, once we do an equalization cycle and get all the new cabling in there, how's our battery bank doing? Now I'm going to do a little bit of work to remove all this corrosion from the terminals. We picked up a wire brush, and we also are going to use a little bit of distilled water to give everything a quick wash.
Comes the little airplane!
At first we thought about reusing the cables we already had, but when we looked at the cost of doing new cables, we thought, you know what, it'd be really nice to have a really tidy cable setup. We found locally, fairly locally, some Flexaprene welding cable. It looks really nice, so we went ahead and picked up some of that. We paid $1.75 per foot for cabling, so it gives you an idea on the cost of building your own cables. The same place, we did find copper lugs. What we're doing is we're just using a propane torch and some rosin core solder, and we're actually just melting the solder down into the lug and putting everything together that way. And then we're just using a little bit of electrical tape to tidy up the joints. It's not something that we've done before, but it is kind of satisfactory making your own cables. I don't know why, it just is really kind of fun. In the end, one of these little guys will run us about $5. This is a 1 foot or a 12-inch cable. We did pay a pretty steep price for these lugs. I'm not sure if it's just because we bought them locally or what, but you can buy them online quite a bit cheaper. We paid, I think, about $1.30 per lug. Blind man ask another blind man. So what do you think a giraffe looks like? I don't know, I'm blind. I know that even though we do all this work with these batteries and I got all the corrosion cleaned off the terminals, we're probably still going to be somewhat fighting corrosion. These used batteries, they're off-gassing quite a bit. I think lead batteries off-gas. Anyway, so what I'm doing to try to help is applying some dielectric grease to each terminal and cable and bolt before we install them. Like so many of our projects, this one took place a lot after dark. It took us about 2 hours to complete all 10 cables, and after about the 5th cable or so, we were getting really good at it. We would use the torch to first heat the lug, and then once it was good and hot, we could feed the solder in and it would flow super nice. We got to use our new stainless steel hardware, and the battery bank looks amazing. So what is it like having brand new cables on your battery bank? I guess it's kind of like after 3 days of camping, putting on a fresh pair of underwear. I mean, like, you can pretty much keep wearing the same underwear, but... And just like that, the generator gods have approved and given us back our generator. We get to do our first ever equalization. And that's the moment we realized it's not equalizing. If you've been following us, you know that we would go on to spend 4 months, 3 inverters, and 2 remotes to find out it had been equalizing all along. I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? It's not like I had to put 3 inverters on, 2 controllers, and fart with my battery bank all winter. All right, I need to calm down a little bit. That battery bank project sucks. 16 degrees below zero. I'm not saying there wasn't any operator error going on. We didn't realize that the equalization cycle is gonna take over 4 hours. So we thought it would be like, all right, you're equalizing. And instead it was like, you're equalizing. 4 hours later,
you're still equalizing.
In our defense, and GoPower's defense, this is a totally new product for them. Their customer support gave it their best shot, and we were all confused. Happily, they diagnosed it on the bench, and they sent an updated remote, which now says, we're equalizing. Some of you might be wondering, why did you use such small cabling? Well, we did a little bit of research, and it seemed like for the amperage and the voltage, those cables are adequate. Would we like cables this big around? Sure. Big cable is big money. So far, these cables have been more than adequate for what we're doing. Anytime you're dealing with a 12-volt system, plan on spending some serious money on cabling. If you're new to solar and you're doing research, look up a wire sizing chart. They're super helpful in selecting the proper size wire for your application. This project was a lot of fun. With Alyssa's dad's help, we both learned a lot and made some pretty cool looking cables. It's way less intimidating to do that project now. I can say 5 months later that the stainless steel hardware was worth every nickel. 0 corrosion. This small solar system that GoPower provided us has been a fantastic kind of training wheels project for us. I feel like I've learned a lot just about solar in general. We look forward to kind of getting deeper with some of these components and building a much larger system for our home. I do have another video in the works to kind of wrap up my final thoughts on the battery projects. That's not this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next project.